Is this one of the best leather fragrances? Let's review Memo Paris African leather and find out. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future videos, and make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. But today we are reviewing a classic from Memo Paris and probably the most popular from the house as well, which is African leather. And now this is a fragrance that I've wanted in my collection for so long and finally have a bottle and reviewing for you guys today, because this has to be one of the most popular leather niche fragrances that money can buy. And if you've been into the fragrance game for any time now, you probably have came across or heard of African leather by Memo. I also do want to shout out Memo Paris for sending this one over for review. Of course, that's not going to change my opinions on the fragrance. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it, and if I don't, I don't. And I'll always keep it completely honest with you guys in these reviews. So let's go with some information. Now, African leather was actually launched way back in 2015. So this bad boy has been around for a few years now. Actually 10 years at the time of this recording, which is crazy to think about, to be honest with you, man. Time flies. For the retail price on the 75 ml bottle like I have in hand, it's gonna set you back $310, which is pretty expensive, but man, when you're buying niche fragrances, you're gonna have to put up some cash, especially for something like this. But you also may be able to find this discounted if you do look around. And of course, if I do find somewhere, I will leave it linked in this video. The concentration with this is an eau de parfum, so you are getting at least like 20% oil concentration, which is very solid. The perfumer behind African leather is Allure Massenet, which honestly, I'm not really familiar with this perfumer, but I do think they have created a few fragrances for the house of Memo. But man, after trying African leather, I'm gonna have to check out their resume, because whoever they are has a very special nose and know what they're doing. Now, with all the information out of the way, let's get the packaging and presentation you get with African leather now. So take a look at the box, which comes in this nice kind of cardboard, sturdy brown box. Memo Paris. On the bottom, you'll find your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. Nothing on the sides or back, but I did accidentally rip mine when I took the note off of the front. So don't do that if you do get a bottle, because that looks terrible. Then you open it up like so, where your bottle is housed in this nice kind of map, which I think looks very, very classy. So that is the box presentation. Let's look at the bottle now. So take a look at the bottle, which is very iconic and classic. The moment you see this one, you do have this kind of cheetah leopard on the front. African leather eau de parfum Memo Paris, and this is in the Curse Nomad collection, which I think is like their leather collection. On the bottom, you will find your sticker, eau de parfum, with your batch code. Nothing on the back, but you can see the juice color inside, which is great. I love when it is transparent. Memo logo on top of the cap, nothing inside the cap, nothing on the atomizer, and the cap is metal and very, very heavy. Plus, holds in by friction, very sturdy. In the top, you have cardamom, geranium, pink pepper, and saffron. In the mid, you have cinnamon, patchouli, and rose. And in the base, you have leather, amber, and oud. And this will be classified as a spicy leather. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Atomizer honestly is kind of disappointing. As you just saw, it's not pressurized, but hey, it still gets the job done at the end of the day. It's not the biggest deal. So let's go ahead and remind myself of the classic African leather now. So right away, this is gonna be hands down one of the best spicy openings you'll ever try, guys, because this opening is outstanding with all the spices, such as you're gonna get this very sexy, seductive cardamom, which is by far one of the sexiest spices on the market used in fragrances. So you're gonna get a nice dose of cardamom right away, mixed together with this nice dose of pink pepper, alongside this leathery, spicy saffron, which is going to be a big player as this dries down as well, because sometimes saffron can come across a leathery, and it definitely does in this one. You're also going to get a pretty nice dose of this luxurious geranium, which kind of breaks up the spices, so it makes it a little bit more complex instead of just a burst of spices right away. And the geranium kind of gives off this sophisticated rosiness. And wow, guys, the opening just smells so high quality, very, very natural smelling. And it does smell like something that would be worth spending $300 on, to be honest. Now, as you make your way into the mid, the spices are still going to be there, because you're going to start getting this warm, spicy, comforting cinnamon note, mixed together with this very green, earthy patchouli, man. And wow, these are all notes I absolutely go crazy for, because the patchouli in here is exactly how I love my patchouli to be. Very green, earthy, slightly minty, but alongside that cinnamon and patchouli note, you are going to get this rosy note as well. So it's kind of just goes alongside the geranium, but as it dries down, the rose starts to kind of come through, and it's more of like this dark, luscious, jammy rose note. So even if you're afraid of rose fragrances, you think rose smell maybe like your mother or something like that, do not get that impression, because this does not come across like that by any means. Just a very spicy, rosy fragrance from like the top and mid. Now finally, once we make our way into the base, is where this name comes from, and pretty much the dominant thing about this fragrance, because you are going to get this very rugged animalic leather notes, a very dark animalic leather in African leather, which I know a lot of times people don't even consider that leather is an animalic note, because obviously it comes from an animal, and a lot of people don't consider it to be animalic. But man, the way it's done in here is very dirty, earthy, and animalic without a doubt, which is right up my alley. I love when my fragrances are more on that earthy side of things, especially if it's going to be something like this. And also it's an emphasis on the earthy animalic side of things, because you are going to get this slightly barnyardy oud. It's just very woody, oudy, mixed together with that rugged leather. Also get a pinch of this kind of warm, resinous amber note as well. And the amber in here is done also on the dirty side of things, which amber should be. Amber is not what we picture in our heads. It's not this beautiful, clean, golden nugget. No, amber is actually a resin that comes from a tree, so it should smell earthy, and it definitely does in African leather as well. So you're going to have to love your earthy fragrances to enjoy this one, because like I said, it's very much on the daring, challenging side of things. But at the end of the day, this is a niche fragrance that is more so targeted towards the fragrance enthusiast that has a little bit experience with their nose, because this is not going to be something you would ever find at like a department store such as Dillard's, Macy's, etc. So just to break it down, it's a very spicy, rosy, animalic fragrance from like the top, mid, and base, and absolutely something I would recommend the true enthusiast go ahead, get a sample of, and check out, especially if you love the leather fragrances, because this is something I think everybody should try if you like this genre. It's also very unique and smells unlike any other leather fragrance in my collection. It's not really like a full leather on fragrance. There's a lot more going on. It's a very complex. It's nothing like ombre leather, Tuscan leather, or anything like that, which are all like leather forward, like the most dominant and pretty linear. No, this thing right here is very, very complex with a ton going on. So for the best seasons to rock African leather, of course, you guys can already probably know what I'm about to say. This is without a doubt a fall winter fragrance. It's a very thick, very heavy wearing experience that you're going to want to stay away from like the spring and summer, unless if it's maybe like a colder spring evenings, which we do get a lot of times, especially where I'm from. But stay away from the summer with this one, because you might get sick of it and probably will never want to wear it again, because like I said, it can become a little bit cloying, especially if your skin starts to heat up. Just let this beauty shine in the colder weather, because this is exactly what it's suited for. When it comes to occasion, this is a very formal fragrance. I can picture myself wearing this one when I'm fully dressed up. Just nothing really casual about this. I mean, you could maybe wear this with a nice pair of jeans, some boots, a nice kind of jacket, or like a pea coat, something like that is what this is best suited for when it comes to like the attire. I could picture myself wearing this one on a nice date night, especially on my girl, because she's into fragrances as well, and she always smells unique things on me. But if you're going out maybe on a first date, this might not be something you want to wear. But if you're going somewhere and you want to stand out, you want to like prove a point, you want to be that dude that smells incredible and unlike anybody else at the event, this is the kind of fragrance I would reach for to kind of make a statement. And when it comes to gender, I personally think this is a pretty masculine leaning fragrance. It could be considered unisex leaning masculine at the end of the day, because it is pretty rosy. So I could see maybe a woman that likes spicy, rosy fragrances enjoying this one, but man, oh man, this is a masculine fragrance at the end of the day. From my personal opinion, when I smell this one, I don't necessarily think I would want my girl to smell like African leather. It's just too rugged and earthy for my liking on a woman. It's not feminine, it's not pretty or anything like that. Kind of smells like the sort of fragrance that would honestly probably put hair on your chest. The only thing making it unisex though is the rosy nuances in the DNA of African leather, but still a masculine fragrance. And when it comes to age groups, this is without a doubt a mature fragrance as well. pretty easily a mature fragrance as well too, because I couldn't really picture anybody younger, maybe like in their late teens, early 20s, really enjoying this one or wearing it. It just has that mature vibe about it. So I would pretty much say anybody like 25 and up is the perfect age group for African leather. Once your nose starts to develop, as you're growing older and you kind of appreciate different things in life, this is the fragrance for you. And there's not many situations I can personally see a younger guy wearing African leather, because you don't want to wear this to school. You don't want to wear this to like a college classroom or anything like that. This is the kind of fragrance literally suited for the men out there. I mean, I'm in my late 20s and this is still pretty mature for me, to be honest, even though obviously I wear whatever I want. You can wear whatever you want as well, but I'm just painting you guys the best picture. But I mean, if you are younger and you're into fragrances like I am, or like a lot of people are, and you probably are as well if you're watching this at the end of the day, you could wear it. Just for like your typical younger dude out there, this is not going to be for you. Now, rather than review off talking on the performance you should expect from African leather if you do decide to pick up a bottle, guys, this stuff right here is beast. It's literally a beast fragrance that's gonna last you over 12 plus hours on skin. Even if you spray your clothes, forget about it. It's gonna last a few days, maybe like a 2 washes in the washing machine to get it fully out. The kind of fragrance you may even want to be cautious on spraying your clothes with, because it's that potent, that deep and dark. And I'm kind of surprised as well that this is an eau de parfum. It definitely wears like an straight de parfum, especially when it comes to longevity. So above average with the longevity, and when it comes to the projection as well, this is a loud projector for the first couple hours, which can be both a good thing and a bad thing, because like I said, this is a daring, challenging fragrance. So be cautious who you're wearing this around, because you might honestly offend a few people around you. But if you're like me and don't really care about the people around you or offending them with your fragrance, you'll have no worries at all. Let them be, and they might even be people you don't even want around you to begin with. So hey, it's a win-win. But yeah, you definitely might scare a few people with African leather. But you also may get a few compliments with it as well, especially from people that maybe appreciate spicy things or spicy fragrances, things like that, because this is top tier spiciness when it comes to fragrances, guys. So you either might scare some people or you might get some compliments from people as well. It's kind of in the middle. But yeah, when you're walking around with the projection, the sillage you leave behind you, man, it's a walking trail of spices. Like you're walking down a spice road, basically, when people walk behind you. So 12 plus hours of longevity and very loud projection for the first couple hours of wearing African leather. No complaints with the projection or longevity with this bad boy right here, guys. It is beast mode. And when you're paying a premium of $300 for a fragrance, you're gonna expect it to perform fairly well, and this one does. It's not a letdown. That's even coming from a new bottle. I believe this is probably one of the newest batch bottles out there as well. So I don't know if this has been reformulated throughout the years. I couldn't tell you that, because yeah, like I said, it has been around for 10 years at the time of this recording, so it might have been. Maybe the older bottles are even stronger, but still the new ones do perform. That's gonna do it for my review of the iconic Memo Paris's African leather. Let me know down below if you guys have tried this beast. If you have any other recommendations from Memo, because this is the only one I currently own in the collection, but I believe they have so many in their library. So if you guys have tried anything else, let me know down below your thoughts on African leather, your thoughts on Memo Paris as well. But besides that, leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and you already know I'll catch all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.